I'm Dexter Wood. I'm Senior Athletics Advisor at Buford High School. My journey began 52 years ago when, not knowing what I wanted to do with this business degree, I was offered a coaching and teaching job at a small school in Gadsden, Alabama. After spending 2 years there, I decided that was my call and that was my giftedness to coach and teach and lead young people and other staffs. So through that journey, I spent my first 10 years at several schools in the state of Alabama, and then I came to Georgia. I was the head football coach there for 10 years and retired after a 30-year career as a head football coach. During most of those years, I was also the school athletic director, and I continued at Buford as athletic director until I retired to an assistant athletic director's position about 6 or 7 years ago. And then most recently, I still go to the building every day and work with other athletic directors and other coaches as an athletics advisor and enjoy my role tremendously. I think the key piece of advice for me is it's always about people. Your people decisions will always be your most important decisions. And over the years, I've used the bus analogy. You got to get the right people on the bus. And as an AD, do you have a criteria for that? Of who you want on your bus. Even before that, the bus that you choose to be on, the district, the school system that you choose to work for. Better surround yourself with great people better than you. And so getting the right people on your bus, and then you can take that bus anywhere you want. But even beyond that, when you get the right people on the bus, athletic directors have key responsibilities in getting them in the right seats. Sometimes we have the right people on the bus, but their skill set, maybe we've got them out of a comfort zone, or maybe we need to grow them in another seat or another sport or another responsibility. In terms of knowing the right kind of person, I guess I'd go back to that bus analogy. Who is the right person on your bus? Great leaders seem to possess what I call the 3 C's. These are the people I want on my bus. First of all, they're competent. They know what they're doing. They're growing in what they're doing. And I always would tell our coaches, we may get out-talented and we're going to lose contests, but we should never leave the court or the field that we've been out-coached or that we were not prepared. And so we want competency for people on our bus. But I think beyond competency, because most people in an interview look for that, is the person on your bus, can they connect with the young people and with the staff and the people they're working with? And so caring about people, knowing their story, being others-oriented, that connection piece. The old saying that most kids don't care how much you know as much as they want to know how much you care. And I think that's a great length. And then the last part, at least for the buses I wanted on my people, I wanted people of high character. Do you know your purpose? Do you know your why? It's not here just to win championships or to win cups. We're working with young people, and we have a great responsibility to make an impact on their lives. And that's through our character and through developing their character. So I would say that would be the pieces that I would center on in terms of competency, connection, and character. Am I growing in those areas, and am I developing relationships with those kind of people that work with me and around me? My advice to the AD that's been doing it for a while, and they're along their career, and you kind of hit that crossroads of maybe your effectiveness is not where it was, or maybe you might even become bored with the day-to-day. What I've tried to communicate to our people, and this would be head coaches in prominent positions as well as us ADs, is I go back to analogy again. And I use the analogy of the sponge. And we coaches and we athletic directors, with our professional will, we want to get the job done. It doesn't matter how many hours it takes. It doesn't matter what the grind is. It doesn't matter if we're in the laundry room or closing up a stadium late at night. We're going to get the job done. And it's not about a paycheck for most of us. And so the tendency is that with that sponge, we can squeeze and squeeze and squeeze, and eventually the sponge runs dry. And at that point, the leader, I think, really has to make a conscious decision of how do I refill my sponge so that I remain effective. Over the years, I've seen so many leaders that grind and work it and get to a point in their career, the sponge being dry, and they make poor decisions, and they stumble, and some of them go to areas that they probably don't need to go to try to refill their sponge. And so I'm constantly trying to grow our group. What's your exercise? What's your diet? I always had a group of men I met with. I have a Thursday morning group I meet with now, an accountability group. They keep me refreshed. I'll go on a conference or a retreat with them. Your family, your vacations, are you doing those things? Are you in that routine that you can put it aside and grow yourself? I'm gonna be the best leader when I'm growing myself, and instead of always giving it to other people, I've got to take care of myself to be the best role model. So I would suggest to those that maybe are at the level almost burnout and wondering if I'm worth it, where's your sponge? What are you doing to keep yourself with that same enthusiasm and fire you had, say, 20 years ago? Can you recapture that? And I think sometimes with just our personal lifestyle decisions, we can do that, but we lose track of that in the grind sometimes.